Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing, man? Antonelli here.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How we doing? Matt Antonelli here. Today we're looking at Javy Baez, his right-handed swing versus left-handed swing. So, not too long ago, I don't know if you guys were watching the game or saw it maybe on highlights somewhere. Baez got up left-handed, right? Game was kind of out of hand. Position player comes in. Baez gets up lefty, and he's got a pretty good swing. It's pretty impressive for somebody that doesn't hit left-handed. Now, I don't know if he's ever hit lefty before, like as a kid, if he was ever a switch hitter. I mean, his movements are like just too good, I feel like, to not have some experience hitting left-handed. But we're going to look through this for a second. We're going to kind of break down his left-handed swing, and then we're going to look at his right-handed swing, his normal swing, and see some of the similarities and some of the differences. Now, pitch location, pitch speed is different in both videos. He's facing like an ephus pitch over here in this video right here. He kind of gets out front. The thing is just lobbed up to him. And it was really, I couldn't find any other video of him taking a right-handed swing at that same type of pitch. So he's going to be more forward, a little bit more in his front leg on this video in the left. But let's just look at the swings anyways and see again, some of the similarities and some of the differences, because this is really impressive how well he uses his body. So we'll start off just again with the stance, and I always say stance is personal preference, right? I really don't care how you stand unless it is not allowing you to get your rear leg and your body loaded on time and get you in a good position to launch. So, if you look at both of them, he stands a little bit more upright with his feet a little bit closer together, left-handed. Probably feels like, and I actually do this too when I hit left-handed. I don't know what it is, but when I get up lefty, I put my feet really close together. I think it's because I feel like if I move a bit more, I just feel, when I'm hitting left-handed, I'm just trying to hit homers. And so I feel like I can get a little bit bigger of a move. I feel almost like Babe Ruth in a way. And so he has his feet closer together over here, a little bit further apart. In his normal stance, probably he's got his butt out just maybe a little bit more as a righty also, a little bit more erect as a lefty. And so as he starts to get ready to hit, we'll look at kind of his kicks here. So he's got a decent size kick as a lefty, and we all know that he's got a big kick as a righty, right? And so he coils in both. There he is at the top of the kick there. Here he is here. And so when we talk about hitting, and again, I want this to be a little bit informative about some of the things we talk about with hitting, but then also just kind of being able to see his swing. But what we talk about when that lift, and again, it doesn't have to happen when you lift the leg. Some players will preset this load and this coil. But when it's time to get loaded to hit, you're going to see the back pocket start to turn towards the pitcher. That's going to coil the hips, and that's going to load the rear leg back this way. And so you see that move right there. And he's got a really pronounced, obviously a big pronounced kick and coil. But there's the back pocket facing directly behind him. As he picks up, he gets it coiled right there. And that gets him around this leg. That gets his back leg loaded so that, one, he can turn it faster, use the ground, create more bat speed. But also, he's able to control his weight now as he moves forward so that he won't have a tendency to be out in front so much, right? And he's in control of his body, so his timing is going to be better. His back leg stays loaded as he moves forward. So he's moving forward, yet he's back at the same time, and he's able to time the ball up better. And if it's not the exact speed that he wants or is anticipating, he's able to hold off his swing until it's time to go. Now, when he goes left-handed, in my opinion, he doesn't do as good of a job of remaining around this leg as he's moving forward. He also starts I guess I should have mentioned this before. He looks like he might start even a little bit more open. So his hips are a little bit more towards like the second baseman. And when you watch him, he starts to coil, but for me, he just coils, and then he starts to get forward a bit more than he does as a righty. Like as a righty, he coils. You can see his back leg loading, right? So you see his back leg starting to turn that way a bit. He's getting into the ground. And then as he starts to move, he's able to stay around this leg and keep it loaded and stay back. Whereas on this one, you know, he gets forward just a little bit more. Once he starts to coil, he starts to fall forward into his lead leg a little bit more, and everything happens just a little bit quicker, and the forward move happens a little bit earlier. And I'm sure if he hit a bunch, that he would probably start to do this a little bit more. Everything would start to slow down. The load would become more like if you're going to pull back a bow, or if you're going to, you know, any negative move that you're going to make, you got an elastic around your thumb, you're going to pull the band back. That pulling back or that loading or stretching of the band would happen slow, and it wouldn't happen super quick. And again, over here, it happens a little bit slower, and then over here, it's a little bit more rush. He just wants to get going that way. And then as you move your way up your body, so then getting the upper body ready to hit. So Baez has like this pretty big tip right here. And so this part of the swing, getting the upper body ready to hit, I call it the pullback. And so pullback is essentially just getting your elbow behind your hands. The move is like almost like starting a lawnmower or setting your arm, you know, back to throw a punch into a punching bag. And those are more aggressive than you really do it in a game, although Baez has a pretty aggressive move where he tips the bat, but you can see his elbow starting to get behind his hands. His elbow also works up, but it's working back behind him. And then if you look at him left-handed, you see the move is less pronounced, not as much of a pullback. Looks almost more, a little bit more like he's pushing back with his lead arm, just a bit more. Whereas on here, it looks like he's pulling back a bit more. So his elbow never really gets completely behind his hands. And it looks like he's definitely like in his back more as a right-handed hitter. So you should feel it kind of like running up the rear side of your back. And if you set your hand back to punch, or, you know, if you think about that lawnmower, starting a lawnmower, or if there's just somebody behind you, you're just going to kind of nudge them with your elbow back this way. Or if you get into that position where like if you're going to chest press something, you're working out with like a barbell or dumbbells, and you kind of get the bar down to it's starting to lower down to your chest. You feel your elbow move back behind your body towards your spine, and you can feel your back kind of working right there. All kind of the same thing, just different degrees of effort. Like the lawnmower one would be the most. And again, most players are more subtle than that. And that move also helps you. Like that move helps you not get the upper body involved too early. You know, if you don't pull back, your upper body starts to want to get forward too fast. You get, you know, it helps you stay back as you're moving forward also. So you get that move where you're starting to move forward. Well, now you start to pull back with your upper body, and it keeps you in balance instead of getting over your front side and just shifting your weight forward too fast. And Baez doesn't do it as much here, right? See, you don't see like his back working as much. You see him kind of just pushing his hands away from his body. And so I'd like to see on a good pitch, like on a normal pitcher, if he makes the same move and gets forward a bit. Again, some of it could be because the ball was being lobbed to him. And so, you know, he might have just started his load and everything later because he had all this time in the world and the ball's thrown up. And so he's loading as the ball's like going up, 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 up. And he starts to see it really slow, and then he just starts to get forward a little bit too quick. That's why when you're looking at like video of swings and you're trying to compare stuff, pitch location and pitch type does matter, because there will be slight changes depending on the pitch. And a lot of times like the loading part of the swing will be the same, but this is a pretty drastic difference in pitches. Like, he's never going to face this type of pitch in a real, if it was a real type atmosphere against a real pitcher and he was hitting right-handed. So, again, here's the positions they look into as their front foot's about to get into the ground. And now when they launch, see, here's the ball that's kind of out in front and down. But the thing I like the most is, one, Baez has really good bat speed still. Let's watch that again. Move this back because they're going to keep going together. That's like really, really impressive bat speed. Does a belt tray down to a knee. But the way the barrel's launched, it's still pretty impressive to get this ball. So, you know, if you've seen our other videos, we talk a lot about when I launch and my leg starts to turn me this way, I want to try to get the knob up, right? Because the barrel's going to follow the knob. So if the knob goes straight down, the barrel goes straight down. But if the knob can start to turn up, then the barrel will turn back, and then that will be able to turn up, and you'll be able to get on path with the ball. You'll be able to get the barrel behind the ball, and you'll be able to hit the ball on a slight up bat path. And you'll also work from the inside better, good direction. And so you can see Baez here as he starts to go. Now this ball's up a little bit more, but still you can see him starting to turn the knob up. And you can see the barrel starting to work back. And so you've got this leg turning this way, and you get the barrel working back that way. And so you're able, just like that rubber band I talked about on my thumb, when you pull the band back, you stretch the band. You create stretch in that band just like you would with the body, right? The band, when you're stretching it, you're pushing your thumb one way and pulling back with your fingers the other way. And so the 2 points of the band are getting further apart from each other, and they're creating stretch. And so this is going like this, and the barrel's going back. You're creating stretch, and then the barrel's whipped around into the hitting zone. A lot of players, when their leg does this, they start pushing the barrel down, and then they've got everything working in the same direction, and then you don't have good bat speed, you don't have good barrel depth getting in the zone deep, and you have bad direction because typically when you push the barrel forward and down, you cut across the zone, and then you're rolling over to third base, and you're flaring balls to right field, and you don't know what the hell's going on. And so even though he attacks this ball, you can see that he attacks it by starting to turn the knob up, and so the barrel's going to work down, but then it's going to turn up into the ball. You can see his barrel starting to blur out early, so he's got really good bat speed. It's coming from the inside. And to go along with that, you know, when you start to make that move, if you just look at the arms, the rear arm's going to work under, and this lead arm's got to work up. One of the biggest moves I see with young players is that they swing down, they take the knob down, they take the barrel down, they take the lead arm down, and like I said, they have poor direction and depth and bat speed. When he starts to turn, you can see his lead arm working up as his rear arm works under. So the relationship between the arms stay the same, and it's just getting turned back there. And Baez's arm, lead arm, you can see here, starting to work up, right? Now the ball's way down, but as he starts to make that turn and the barrel starts to get into the zone here, lead arm's working up. It's like a beautiful swing. I wish I had his lefty swing and his righty swing. Then if we watch him from this view right here, here you can see the hip slightly open. Starts to coil. Here comes the old Ephus pitch. The ball's going to be down. But you can see the barrel starting to turn back. It's going to pick up speed. It's going to work from the inside. And then his lead arm's working up. And man, if this ball was like, if that ball was crossing the plate or getting into the hitting zone like at that height, he might have hit this ball out of the park. Because he just misses this, but this ball is a little bit of a tough pitch. He's out in front a little bit. Ah. man. But what a beautiful swing, all right? And again, I don't know if he practices this at all. I don't know if he hits in the cage and messes around lefty. But the weird thing about lefty is I don't practice my lefty at all, but when I get up right now, my lefty is better than my righty. That might just mean my righty's horrible, but there's something about, I don't know what it is. I feel like I use my body better than lefty than I do righty, and I don't practice it. And so maybe Baez is like that, or maybe he does practice. If you have any information on this, let me know. But anyways, that's his left-handed swing. I wanted to throw that in there, but then also give you guys a little bit of, hitting tips and advice, because I know a lot of you are hitters, especially young hitters, and trying to learn. So if you haven't checked out our other videos, go and check those out. I go through a ton of hitting stuff in our other hitting videos. Go to our hitting playlist, and we cover all aspects of the swing. And that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Go check out Road to the Show series out. Got a bunch of those videos up. I think you'll find them interesting and maybe a little bit funny. So go do that. Share with all your friends, and we'll talk to you later.